moving on to, wait a minute, okay, don't close the public hearing just yet. So moving on to item B, tentative government funds and enterprise fund and disaster recovery fund budget for fiscal year 2020-2021. Is there any public comment? Yes, sir.
I was looking at the past budgets, Jameson work, by the way. I was looking at the past budgets, and one of the ones I noticed that there was a disaster recovery bond for $31.8 million. Is that getting paid off once we get FEMA reimbursements, or are we just making minimum payments until so many years it takes to pay off?
We have been making payments on that. We just had it from last year, so our first payment was due, I think, this year, and we have budgeted in there 1.9 million. But as soon as the money for FEMA continues to come in, we'll take some of that and pay it off, and then some of it to rebuild.
When do we project that be paid off by?
We know that it'll probably be called in a couple of years. We're not real sure when that will be paid off. I know that we will not pay it all off. Our plan is to pay as much as we can and then go back in and refinance what's left over.
Okay. So as we were talking about earlier with the millage rate, I mean, I understand the position we're in because of Hurricane Michael and that. But the thing that concerns me is when I look at the loans, bonds, notes, all the debt that we've taken on in this city, I think it's gotten out of control. I understand Hurricane Michael probably exacerbated it, but we've had this problem even before Hurricane Michael. And when I ran these numbers for the loan, for all the debt that we have, let's see, back in fiscal year 18, which would have been before Hurricane Michael, and you compare this to fiscal year 14. Fiscal year 14, we had $2.9 million in debt. Fiscal year 18, we had $37,800,000 debt. That's an increase of 1,207%. Now, if you speed up to where we are today, we're up, last fiscal year it was $67,784,000. And I think, I don't know what we're doing wrong, but we're doing something wrong as far as spending money. I don't know if it's mismanagement. I don't know if it's things that came up that just everything broke at one time. But I just think it's gotten out of control. And I don't know what we need to do about it, but we need to do something about it. I even looked at Callaway. I know Callaway's got lesser population than we do, but it's about $7,000 to $8,000 people less than us. They have $15 million debt. I think we can do a lot better than that, and so that's concerning to me. So I know Commissioner Tinder talked about tighten the belt. We definitely need to tighten the belt, and we need to look at areas that we have efficiencies and where we can save money. And we might have to make some hard decisions that we don't like, but we can't take on any more debt than we already have. Anytime we have a bond or anything, it's got to go in front of the commission, correct? So whenever that happens, we need to really think long and hard about that. Thank you.
Sir, I would like to mention something to you, and I don't know the exact numbers, but I do know one of the bonds was taking out to do the road work the repaving, and that was taken out directly against the half-cent infrastructure tax that we were getting back.
Right, correct.
So that infrastructure tax is paying off that bond.
I understand.
The 31 million, I mean, who could account for Hurricane Michael? You know, I mean, that's...
That leaves another 32 million left.
Yes, sir. I'm aware of that. Yes, sir.
And Callaway was able to do it with 15 million. Now, like I said, I know they're a smaller community, so yeah, they're not going to have as much debt as we have, but that's a substantial difference.
Yes, sir.
So I understand. Look, I understand that Hurricane Michael put us in a bad predicament, but I think if we would have had the foresight back then to prepare for something like this, it would have been a different situation. I mean, do we have a 5-year plan when we look out 5 years and what we where we want to be at and what's projected the expenditures and things like that going to be? Do we have that?
Yes, we do. And we are working together. I don't think if Kiki's in here, but we have a plan to actually pay off the debt if you want to come and speak to that. Because one of the things with us even being a little bit new is the fact that we have a lot of debt. And if you notice in our budget this year, there are no loans. There are absolutely no loans in there,
I-
except for what we're paying off.
Right.
In the past years, there have been. And so we are doing a pay-as-we-go now, and that means that, did we push a lot of things back? Go and ask our public utilities director and our public works director. Yes, there were a lot of things they could not do this year that they would have done under some other program where you could get loans from. So we do have a plan in place to get this debt down.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you. I know I took a lot of your time, but I appreciate
Mayor Pro
it.
Tem, if I
Thank
could
you.
also speak to kind of tightening the belt. You know, I know things like mowing in-house, these are things we have discussed for the last year. And one of the reasons we did that, again, was to not try to have to contract out. We ran the numbers looking at, you know, the guys that we had contracted with in the past, and we put our heads together and said, look, we can do this. We can get some lawnmowers, and we have the guys that can do this. So we are looking at that. That's the reason I tell you that. So,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you.